The Lord bless you and keep you. And good morning. You know, I had a great teacher and mentor at Sunset, and he had these words that have stuck with me for quite some time now. He said, and I agree with him, that there are two eternal purposes of God. And the first one, of course, is that all men are saved, all people, all humankind, all humanity, all of God's creation. He wants us all to come to the knowledge of the truth. He wants us all to be with him. And the second eternal purpose of God is that those who are with him, those who do belong to him, become more like his son, Jesus. He says we are to be conformed to his image. In Romans, it even says we're supposed to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. And of course, through the Spirit, that means becoming more like Jesus. So God has eternal purposes. Well, what about us? Purpose can be a hard thing right now. And this particular year, if you happen to be in a city that was affected by, whether it's the federal government, the state government, or the local government, well, every city's been affected by that, by the different rules and policies they put in place. And maybe you happen to be in one of the cities where your business were shut down and you don't have a livelihood and you're wondering what your purpose is now, or maybe you've been affected, one of your loved ones has passed away from the virus, and you're wallowing and you don't understand what your purpose is. Well, we have a purpose. Just as God has eternal purposes, he has given us eternal purposes. Ephesians 2:10 says we are his workmanship. We are his creation, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand, that we should walk in them. So one of our eternal purposes is to help others in need. A lot of the times we throw this onto our government, whether it's the federal, state, or local government. You need to make a program to help feed the homeless. You need to make a program to help house the homeless. You need to make a program to help the poor who can't make ends meet. And I'm here to tell you, if the church was doing their job, then the federal, state, and local governments wouldn't need to do that. Part of our eternal purpose is to help those in need. We were created to do good works. That's important for us to understand. We shouldn't sit by and wait for some federal program to kick in and help. If we see somebody in need, we ought to help. Now, I will tell you, let me do a quick caveat here. Paul tells the church at Corinth that he expects them to give with what they do have, not with what they don't have. In other words, we're not expected to give it all to somebody we see in the street. We're expected to help them with what we do have. Okay, that's important to understand. I've often told people, come talk to me for help. If you need help, come see me, and I'll tell you immediately, either I can help you or I cannot help you, depending on what my resources are. If you need me to pay your house note, I cannot help you. If you need me to buy you a cup of coffee, I'm right there. The other part of our eternal purpose comes from 1 Peter 2 and verse 9, and that is absolutely one of my favorite verses. And this isn't part of the purpose talk today, but I love it because of the names that God uses for us. If ever you thought that you were not important, if ever you thought that your reason for being here is lost or gone, you're just some nobody, listen to what God says in 1 Peter 2 and verse 9. He says, you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God's own possession. That's important for us to understand. We have to realize that we are important to God. But our eternal purpose comes from the next sentence. We are these kind of people so that we can proclaim the excellencies of him who called us out of darkness and into his marvelous light. So our second eternal purpose is to share the gospel with those around us. Because we've been given this gift, we want to give this gift to those around us. We want to share this miraculous gift that God has granted us. Salvation. the opportunity to spend eternity with the Father, to break the bonds of death and be resurrected on the last day with the Christ. I pray that this has brought you some comfort today. If you're struggling for purpose, struggle no longer. God has given you purpose. May the Lord bless you and keep you.